is waving welcome aboard, everyone, on Versus. There's the green flag, and we are underway at St. Pete. The battle toward turn number 1. Look at this, 5 wide as they hit in there. Who's going to come out ahead? Oh, a nice move by Dario Franchitti. And we have the pole sitter Graham Rahal sideways in turn 1.
And he was hit. He was hit on the left rear. It was Dario Franchitti, and the green car came up the inside. Very aggressive. Oh, it looked like Mike Conway off to the right, also in trouble. Wow, a bump to the inside of Graham Rahal.
And sure enough, that is the dad's car, the DRR car. I don't know if there's damage on there. We haven't seen all the way around it. I'm sure as heck hoping there's no damage. They can get him back and running and doesn't go down a lap.
Wow, what a auspicious start to the season. That is Justin Wilson in the number 19 car for Dale Coyne, the Sunny Barbecues machine that is out in the lead, but we do have a full course caution. We're on board with Dario Franchitti, who has moved up to second spot.
And Dario was super aggressive going down into the first corner and pulled off that move perfectly, but right behind him there was definite contact on the right rear of Graham Rahal.
Looks like that Mike Conway will be able to get a restart and head for the pit area. Here's the replay of what happened as they went into turn number 1.
So we're on board with Dario. Now watch him go to the inside, down. He tucks back in. Oh, there is Dario. Sorry, we weren't on board with Dario. We just saw him go through. And that was not Dario that hit.
No, I didn't think it was. But what it was Dario made that great move to the inside, and we were on board with Tony Kanaan and saw the contact. So Tony Kanaan is the car that came in, and right there got the back of Graham Rahal and Alex Tagliani. For a Bronco ride right over the nose.
And did you see how close it was that Franchitti just slid across the nose of Graham there? Woo!
Down to the pit area, Robbie Floyd.
And guys, I can't emphasize enough that Brian Barnhart said emphatically that 2 out of the past 4 races that there were crashes going into that first turn. Be careful. Watch what you're doing. You know, don't go in there exactly like we just saw. He made that point out there. You know he's upset about it because he made sure to say that. Don't do exactly what they just did. Jack?
Well, Robbie, now is the time when you have to play a little Dr. Phil with your driver, and that's exactly what the crew for the McDonald's team is doing. Graham Rahal, who is on the backstretch trying to limp his way back to pit road, is very, very upset. He said, it's the beginning of the race, and somebody just punted me. And very quietly and very resolutely, they said, look, calm down. It's a long race. It's a full course yellow. You're not going to lose a lot of time. And they ended it with something that maybe made him smile just a little bit. Said, remember, you spun early in the race last year. And he was deathly silent on the radio.
Now, do these laps count on the red tires?
They count as yellow, but you have to have 2 green, and there was not 2 green. So if you pitted now, it wouldn't fulfill the requirement.
Here's the incident at the very beginning of the race. The race to turn number 1 resulted in Tony Kanaan and Graham Rahal making contact.
And if you saw Tony Kanaan, he's the one that bumped Graham, but Tony got up on the inside and got somebody. He kind of he's forced into the curbs. Look at Tony. See Tony get up on the bumps?
Yeah.
He was on the brakes, and when Tony hit the bumps, the front wheel came up, and you could see where it was locked. So he just couldn't get locked down, and there's the dad's car getting just.
I think that was Dixon.
Right across.
I think Scott Dixon was the one who got into Mike Conway. This is the move I was talking about that I think is fantastic. Dario does the move of the century and doesn't touch anyone, but unfortunately, just like you talked about, Tony Kanaan got across the curbs. As soon as you hit the curbs, it's going to change your trajectory. This is who I think got into your driver, Robbie. Let's see if that's the contact.
And no, it wasn't. There was somebody
another car in between
on the left of Dixon that, that hit Mike Conway and shot him right across the front. Wow, a lot happening.
Down to Robbie once again.
Well, guys, it looks like we have nose damage for Tony Kanaan's car. They had to change the nose. He went back out on blacks, but you can see the damage. The whole team's just shaking their head. They hope that didn't happen, and it's exactly what happened, guys. But they did have, you see the damage on the front of his car. You don't now because he's has the new nose. But and they did go back out on blacks, so kind of surprising. Not that they had the reds ready here on the edge, but they didn't go back out. But see the damage all on that left side. A lot of broken carbon fiber, Jack.
Yeah, Robbie, you talk about carbon fiber. How about a nose that's about $35,000? And that's the case. Graham Rahal from that punt, you can see the damage to the nose. But why did they have to change it? Look over here. Everything else is intact. It's the side plate that caused Graham Rahal to have to come in. They got to get that down for us.
And that's because Alex Tagliani came across and drove right over that nose. Boy, tough start for Graham Rahal.
Graham Rahal's a lot of racetrack to make up in order for him to repeat as winner here at St. Petersburg. Pace car is still out ahead of the field as the laps click off, but they are all under caution. And let's get a report on Mike Conway from Lindy Thaxton.
Conway is having to go back. They have the right rear suspension is broken. They say he got hit. They want to try and fix it, but they are telling me at this point they just don't know.
Well, it's a tough start for this young man who has certainly a good resume as we come to IndyCar racing. And here's the number 2 car of Rafael Matos, which is coming in, the Lusso Dragon machine.